Hi, welcome back to Smoking Cheltenham. Hope you're good. Hope you had a good weekend. Hopefully made a few quid. Um, Back in the front room today, which is nice. A bit comfier, and I'm glad for it because this is probably going to be a long video. Get your flask ready. We're going rambling today. Got loads to cover. We got the weekend's action to look back on. I've got 50 to 1 Cheltenham selection for you. It's that time of the month where we've got the Ante-post roundup to do. We'll have a little chat about Willie's stable tour. Maybe have a selection for Tuesday, price depending. I'm going to kick off just by welcoming Mark back with Cheltenham Chat channel. Yeah, nice to have Mark back. And if you want to know the truth about the changes to the festival, go watch that video. Yeah. I don't really want to get into it all here. It's just I know what I'm like if I start with this stuff. I mean, and I've got to stay in a bubble as well. I've got to stay in the racing bubble. But no, no. But yeah, I mean, basically, yeah. Look, look, racing. I don't really get into all the sort of politics of the sport and stuff. I just love the horses. I love the racing, and I love trying to outwit the bookies. Like that's what I've always loved. Everything else I don't pay too much attention to. But you know, from what I've kind of noticed, like I say, I don't get into all this, but it does seem like basically betting funds racing, doesn't it? So the bookies are funding the racing, which kind of tells you everything you need to know, I'd suggest. And also, it's like globalization, right? Now, I would define globalization. I've seen this all my life. You see the fat cats, eating up the smaller guys and getting fatter and fatter. And what happens in all walks of life is the consumers getting less and less choice. So, you know, less competition is always bad for the consumer, isn't it? And I remember thinking, a good while back now, when I saw Paddy Power were gonna take Betfair over, I was like, wow, it's two like giants merging there. I don't know who sits on this monopolies and mergers commission. I don't, but they must have big fat back pockets, these guys, because it's like say it's in all walks of life. Then you've got Corals and Ladbrokes merging, didn't you? So you're getting less and less choice all the time, which can only go one way for us. And the bookies don't really care about the racing. They don't, you know. They just want people on these casino games and stuff. You ask a high street bookie, would they prefer to have a racing license, a license to take bets on the racing, or be able to have as many machines, as many bandits as they like in the shop? And I suspect it's a no-brainer. But yeah, that yeah, we'll stop there. We'll stop there. Otherwise, this could go on a long time. Right, let's look back at the weekend's racing. We'll start with Thursday. yeah, Stratford, good to soft, good in places. First 10 to follow horse of the season came out in Ludesud. In the 2 mile, 3.5 furlong handicap chase, he beat No Risk de Flo 10 lengths with Envious Editor, another 26 lengths back in third. He led from start to finish, and apart from landing on the fourth, the open ditch, this were a really impressive display of jumping. There's no easy task this, taking on like open handicappers, on your fencing debut, but he did that here and he did it well, and he took some pulling up after the line. He was rated 138 coming into this. I'd imagine he'll go up a good 10 for this. You'll be looking at 148 plus now. Dan's still got options with horse, but I'd imagine he's going to go the graded route now. He's versatile with regards trip. He got this stood on his head. He'd be fine dropping to 2 mile. You'd think he'd probably end up in the Arkle, although he could. I don't think this Turner's has a ceiling. This new handicap 2.5 mile. I've not seen it in black and white anywhere, and if it's open ended, I suspect it will benefit the class horses at the top. I remember when we were looking back, weren't we, at previous Turners winners where they'd go. There were a couple there we thought would probably just go for this under top weight, and you imagine if they did, they'd have probably won. So that's something to bear in mind, I'd suggest. If there is no ceiling for this handicap, yeah, I suspect, those at the top will have a big class edge over the rest, but that would be an option for this fella. And I mean, apart from like Nicky with some of JP's horses there, Jericho de Rapine, Iberico Lord, Django Bay, he's going to take some whacking, I'd say, this side of the Irish Sea, 2.5 miles. He is. Yeah, I thought he was really impressive here. Friday then, Down Royal. Wow. This is Gordon's playground, isn't it? Predictably, once again, he just dominated the weekend here, unleashed his battalions. We kicked off with a 2 mile, 6.5 maiden hurdle. The yellow clay beat Heldsburg 9 lengths. He shared the lead with Augusta George. He was careful over the first 5. He was asked at the 6 and he was good there, and he was good at the next. So it just took a little warming up, but yeah, he got better. He took a definite advantage 3 out, where he got in close, and from there he just kind of sauntered clear. He was fine 2 out and good at the last. He's beat nothing here, but he's done it nicely. He's a really promising horse. Not sure for Cheltenham. I won't be rushing in to back him for anything there. But yeah, he's a nice horse going forward, isn't he? Interestingly, if you remember last year, we had a little chat about this. You may have picked up on this. Wingmen Wintered here, withdrawn with a stone bruise. Yeah. There's a loophole in this Rule 4 system. and this got exploited last year at the same meeting, same connections, and I think the year before. I think last year it were the Yellow Clay, this horse, and Firefox were both entered for a bumper. Maybe he really had a stone bruise. Maybe. Or maybe the intention was never to run wingmen. If you took the 5-4 anyway, with a rule 4, it equate to a little bit better than 10-11, which looked, it was just like picking money up off the floor, weren't it? So yeah, if you've not, look out for that next year if you haven't spotted that already anyway. I can almost guarantee there'll be some stone bruisers kicking about at this meeting next year as well. Right, the 2 mile 1, grade 3, bottle green hurdle. Brighter Days Ahead beat King of Kingsfield nearly 4 lengths here. Daddy Long Legs another 5.5 lengths back in third. Daddy Long Legs took them along. Brighter Days Ahead sat second. King of Kingsfield was settled in the rear. Daddy Long Legs flattened the second, he did. Brighter Days Ahead went left at the third and led soon after that. On the run to 3 out, King of Kingsfield took closer order. Daddy Longlegs came under pressure soon after there, and King of Kingsfield swept by him between the last 2, but still a couple of lengths behind Brighter Days Ahead. However, she was steadied into the last, flattened it, allowing King of Kingsfield to close. She would gain a couple of taps and then she readily pulled clear close home. Yeah, the time was good. It was a good time, this. This were seasonal reappearance. It was on the wrong track, on the wrong trip, and the ground would be as quick as she'd like, I'd suggest. Pardon me. Everything were against her here, and she had every excuse to get beat. As such, I thought this was a classy performance. And I thought after the race, wow, she's going to come on plenty for this, and wait till you see her over another half a mile. Now, Gordon did say he wouldn't be surprised to see her in a champion hurdle. I would. Personally, I would. I'd take that with a pinch of salt. We'll see. I don't think she's quick enough for a champion hurdle. But look, she's 5 rising 6 and she's some mare. She is. You know, and if there's no Lossiemouth in the mares, she'll take the world of beating in that, you'd imagine. Yeah, just massively exciting horse, you know. We love this horse, we do. Right, 2.5 mile beginners. Firefox beat Mossy Fen Park 3.5 lengths here. They shared the lead for most of the race. Firefox was just a shade keen for his seasonal reappearance, which is fine. On the approach to 2 out, Mossy Fen Park was shaken up to keep up with Firefox, and after taking that fence, Firefox quickened a few lengths clear, and he maintained that advantage all the way to the line. This were a great display of fencing by both horses, I thought, on chase debut. Firefox was quicker, he was generally quicker, and he jumps like a 2-miler. It'd be the Drinmore next for this fella, and you'd be struggling to see him beat there, I'd have thought. Yeah, he's a huge contender there. This is Gordon's Arkle horse, it is. He's a fine looking beast of a horse, isn't he? he's always looked like he'd make a better chaser than hurdler, and he has. He'll be a big contender for the Arkle. He will. Gut feeling personally is he'll probably hit the bar in that race. I'd expect Willie or Nicky to just have something with a little bit too much stardust for him. But he does look like a rock solid each way bet. However, 6-1, I don't think he'll be much shorter than that on the day. I don't. But he looks a rock solid contender. And if there isn't a star 2-miler about this season, then he'll be there to pick up the pieces, like, you know. Mossy Fen Park, is a 5-year-old. He will more likely race than at a lower level than Firefox over hurdles. This were a big step forward from him on Chase debut. He also looks an exciting prospect going forward, particularly if he gets stepped up to 3 mile and improves for that. You know, they may keep him to 2.5. For now, I'd imagine he's fairly young, isn't he? I'll probably mind him a little bit, but yeah, if 3 mile, if he gets stepped up to 3 mile and improves on this is good form. The 50s from 365 could look big, you know. And lastly, Jacob's Ladder, he landed many an knacker, didn't he, for plenty of punters up and down the land. And he looked really nice, I thought. I think Gordon mentioned hurdles for him, but I couldn't swear to it. I'm quite taken with him. He's a lovely prospect going forward. He is. He looks nice. He does. Do apologise, they're digging up the road outside if any of that noise is coming through. See if we get rid of some of these potholes, We'll see. Saturday, then, we'll stay at Down Royal. Good yielding again. 2 mile 1 maiden hurdle. Romeo Coolio beat Ivybrook 18 lengths. He sat third early. He was second, moved up to second at the fourth last, took it up 3 out and just sauntered clear. He did. He's beat nothing here, and the time were nothing special, but he looked nice doing it. He's a lovely looking horse. This is Gordon's Supreme horse, it is, and as such 14-1 after the race. His top price 14s looks quite big, strangely for this day and age. I'd have thought maybe he'd be 8s, so I won't put anyone off some each way on him. It does look good and Supreme horse. He goes Royal Bond next, and he'd take the beating in that. Willie did name check the Royal Bond for Salvatore Monday, but maybe this will make him have second thoughts about that. It'd be a great clash if that were to materialise. Firefox would be more forward with race fitness on his side. That, I think like Salvatore Monday wouldn't have much to lose in that race. If he puts Firefox away, you're looking at 7-2 favourite. And bearing in mind Willie's last year, likes of Ballyburn, Factor File, Galloping Deschamps, Dancing City, they all got beat first time up, didn't they? So if Salvatore Monday kind of ran a nice race and just get beat like a few lengths there, you'd kind of fancy he may turn that round. So, yeah, I mean, if that clash happens, I don't know, but it'd be nice to see. Yeah, we said at the time he looked the one to take out of the bumper, didn't we? Romeo Coolio. Um, I think he's a little Firefoxy. He jumps nice, but a little big, a little, you know. I think he's going to be a better chaser too, and I kind of think he's going to, a bit like Firefox in the Arkle, I think he'll kind of hit the frame without winning. Um, Again, similar comments apply. I'd expect anyway, maybe Nicky or Willie to have something with a little bit more stardust. But not every year they do, and if it's one of them years, you know, this guy will be there to take advantage. Yeah, it's a nice horse he is. 14-1 looks alright each way, you know. Right, the 2 mile one handicap hurdle, Carla Conti beat Helvic Dream a length and 3/4, with Telecon another 3/4 lengths back in third. She were a bit scruffy over the first two, and settled in mid division. 4 out, we lost Wajaha, yeah. And Carly Conti appeared to do a fair job at hurdling the jockey there. Yeah, she made eye-catching ground on the outside on the approach to 3 out, took it up 2 out, briefly looked like she might get swamped, but rallied on the approach to the last. She threw in a good leap there, and she stayed on strongly on the running. She beat Cargeese last season in a grade 2 at Christmas. 130 looked nice, a nice mark for her. You know, she's won a length and 3/4 here. Maybe she'll go up to 137, 138. I think there could be another nice pot in her, particularly up in trip. But she could improve for 2.5. A lot of them sort of try and force as juveniles do, don't they? I'd say she's one to keep on the right side of, and she could be maybe a contender for something like the Coral Cup. Yeah, she's interesting. Right then, highlight of the meeting: the Grade 1 3 mile champion chase, and it didn't disappoint again, did it? No. Envoy Allen beat Hewick half a length, with Jerry Colomb another 13 lengths back in third. Jerry led at the first, which he flew. Pardon me. Hewick soon moved up sides and took it up at the second. Envoy Allen settled a few lengths back in a share of third. It stayed that way until about the 8th, where Envoy Allen took a clear third. On the approach to 6 out, Sam were just starting to get a little busy with his hands on Jerry, and he was awkward at that fence. On the run to 3 out, those urgings became more vigorous. Hewick was making the best of his way home from there, but still, Envoy Allen just watched on. A few lengths behind, Dara sat motionless in the saddle. On the approach for 2 out, Hewick went for everything. Dara gave Envoy a gentle squeeze and kind of cajoled him, cajoled his way past the labouring Jerry and to within a length or so off the lead. With both horses in full flight on the run to the last, Envoy Allen took a narrow lead over it, but Hewick wouldn't lie down, maybe headed him on the run in for a few strides. They had a battle all the way to the line, and Envoy Allen just prevailed by the half a length. this were a fantastic race, it were, and Envoy Allen he's a class animal, isn't he? He's a 10-year-old now. He's took out 16 of his 27 starts under rules. I think that's including 9 Grade 1s, and he's got 3 festival wins on his CV. What a horse. He's just £600 or so shy now of $1 million in prize money. Hewick, he's a King George winner, isn't he? And he's a superstar for his connections. He is, you know. He sets a good standard in these sort of races. It was only Faster, Slow and Galloping got the better of him, didn't they? At Punchestown there. Jerry, yeah, I'd imagine Envoy Allen probably ran to win a few pounds of last year. So to get beat 13.5 lengths here was disappointing. He's 10 from 14 under rules, and he's never been out of the first 3. He's a Gold Cup runner-up. So it may be a little early to be writing him off. But yeah, this were disappointing. You just wonder, I guess, when we get into these, you know, the top boys at 3 Mile, maybe he's just lacked a little tactical speed, and you don't get any quicker as you get older, do you? As we all know. But yeah, I won't go writing him off yet, but yeah, he's like, we're disappointing, you know. Right, 2 Mile 3.5 Grade 2 chase, found a 50, beat Pinkerton 2.25 lengths here. A seconder I tend to follow horses, eh? And we're 2 from 2. Expect that to go only one way from there. Yeah, Lucid Dreams were another 10 lengths back in 3rd. Yeah, he set off in 3rd, found a 50, but jumped his way into the lead at the first. From there, he sort of shared it with Lucid Dreams. Pinkerton was settled a few lengths behind in 3rd. 4 out, found a 50, threw in a fantastic leap and took it up. Lucid Dreams again pressed him to 3 out, and again he outjumped his rivals there. Pinkerton moved through to press him 2 out and found a 50, quickened a length or 2 up there, and he kept on well all the way to the line. He was conceding a stone and race fitness to his informed rival here. Technically, we're £4 wrong at the weights. Although maybe, you know, it's again an illustration really of where the handicapping system falls down. You know, you get a graded horse against a handicapper, and the graded horses tend to be well in there, don't they? You know, that's always a good angle to be looking at the handicaps when you get a graded horse in there under top weight, you know. But that aside, yeah, it was still a big performance, this, and he looks like he's improved again to me. He's 16s for the Ryanair and 50s for the Champion Chase. Gordon was saying, weren't he, Ryanair? After this race, though, he did say, you know, they could come back to 2. He jumps, and it's, you know, he jumps like a 2 miler. He was fast here. 50-1 just seems big to me. So we're going to have a point each way on that. We are, you know. I mean, these points were only a rough kind of thing, you know, so it doesn't need to be a full point each way. But I'd have a bit of change each way on him at 50-1, put it that way. We'll put him down for a point each way here for the champion. Now, even if you say he's 50-50, say, which race he goes for, which I'd suggest maybe it is at this stage of the season, half that price then, say, and he's 25s, that's still big to me, you know. If you knew we were running in the champion chase, 25-1, I'd say is a good price each way. Now, yeah, so the price is just at Corals, Ladbrokes and Betfred's. Now, I can't get on at any of those online, I can't. But there's a Fred's round corner, so I just toddle off round corner and put it on in the shop there. So, you know, if you really want to get on it, you can do. Yeah. I've got a feeling this champion chase might cut up a little, you know. The way I see it at the minute, I mean, I watched the Arkle again last night to watch this guy again, like, you know, wow, Gaelic Warrior. I think Gaelic Warrior wins this champion chase, I really do. Wow, what, you know. This fella, though, I'd say he's going to hit the frame in either the Ryanair or the champion chase. And if the big guns fail to fire, he'll be there to pick up the pieces. And sometimes they do, don't they? I mean, Gaelic Warrior, as much as we love him, you know, personally I think the biggest danger to Gaelic Warrior is going to be Gaelic Warrior. You know, and, you know, we've seen these horses bomb out before in this race, and yeah, he'd be there to pick up the pieces, he would. I just think 50-1's too big, you know, so I'll have a point each way on that. Alright then, we close the meeting out with Classical Creek, who took the closing bumper. This has often been a launch pad. We chatted a bit about this, didn't we, for Gordon's best bumper horses. Uses this race and the bumper at the Fairy House meeting, the Hatton's Grace meeting. There were no pace earlier. He had to make his own run in, which weren't ideal. He looked green. He looks a lovely chasing type. He does. My gut feeling tells me this isn't Gordon's best bumper horse, though. It does. He might not even go to Cheltenham. He just looks such a nice, proper chasing like type, you know, typical Giggy to Town 3 mile chasing sort. But he's a nice one, like, you know. But I don't see him as a Cheltenham bumper horse. I just don't. Which is kind of good, right? Because in my mind, this is how I see the bumper. I'd say it's like 60% chance Willie takes it, 30% Gordon takes it, and like 10% anybody else. So if you can get Gordon's bumper horse on side each way, all you've got to do then is figure out which one of Willie's 20 or so is going to probably win it, like, you know. The easy part really is getting Gordon's on side. I don't think it's this fella, so we'll be paying close attention to that Fairy House bumper. I think maybe that will be where we see Gordon's number one for the bumper. I'm not sure which one it is yet. I kind of hope it's He Can't Dance just because I like him, but if it's not, that's fine. But I think it'll be that race, I do. So we'll look out for that. Ascot, yeah, Chianti Classico. He put in a classy performance to take out the valuable 3 mile handicap chase. He just led all the way and jumped for fun. He's the ultimate winner. He took this off a mark of 152. Nationals is target, reportedly. I reckon he'd be well capable of mixing it in Grade 1 company over here. To illustrate this, the Charlie Hall Chase, the real whacker, took that out off a marker 157, so he's only rated like £5 higher than this guy. And he beat a brave man's game who doesn't look so brave anymore. Yeah, I mean, the real whacker, that was a great win for his connections. He kind of looks like a Welsh national type to me, but he'd be rated too high for that. I think he's probably going to be hard to place from here. But yeah, what we're saying with Chianti Classico, I think, you run this Charlie Hall again in, say, a month with all the same horses and Chianti Classico, I think I'd be taking a little chance on Chianti Classico, I would, I don't think he'll be up to like a grey dawning, but, behind him there's not really anything over here, he could be, I'd say he could, if they placed him well, he could pick up a grade 1 or a grade 2 somewhere, maybe more than one, but yeah, what do I know? Like, yeah, he's going national, apparently. Sunday, just one race, last race we'll mention here. Cork, they're going good. Yeah, just the 2.5 mile grade 3 novice chase. Gorgeous Tom beat Monbeg Park, 5.5 lengths. Jesse Evans, another 5 lengths back in third. He had some nice place form over hurdles behind the likes of Slade Steele and Caldwell Potter. He improved for the step up to 2.5 mile at Punchestown when he got the better of Mr. Giff at Old Forest. He's 2 from 3 over fences. His defeat was just an obviously looking fall. I think he's held in some regard by connections. He's always well supported, this fella. I think they know he's good. Brilliant horse, a brilliant trading horse if you can play that game. He showed a smart turn of foot here. I'm not sure where he goes now. Maybe he'll get found out at the top level, I guess, but he's nice. I like him. So then, performance of the week. I had to get Envoy Allen. Yeah, deserves it. He does. That was a proper grade 1 race, and it was won by a proper grade 1 horse. Fantastic horse. Yeah, a thrilling race to watch. That was like almost like welcome to the season, weren't it? That was brilliant. Loved it. Number 2, I gave to Founder 50. I did. This were a big performance, getting a stone to Galway Plate winner and race fitness. And he just put up a fantastic rounder jumping. We like this horse. We put him in the 10 to follow. He just turns up every day, runs his race, and yeah, he's improved again, I'd say. Like I said, Ryanair or Champion Chase, I think he'll hit the frame in either. And if the big guns fail to fire, he'll be there, Third, I gave to Brighter Days Ahead. Yeah. Everything were against her, but her class shone through. She's one classy lady, she is. There were plenty of novices come out this week. Top of them, performance-wise, I'd say, were Firefox. I think he beat a nice horse, and you couldn't ask any more for a chase debut, could you? He was fast, fluent, yeah, he's a beast of an horse. He's nice, Firefox he is, and that was a good performance against a good horse, Right then, so that's all that stuff done. Ante-post roundup. Right. Okay. Probably not going into quite as much depth about these races because we have done it quite recently, haven't we? The Supreme, we have a point William Money 25 still there, 2 points Salvatore Monday 12 still there. Again, Manelli Premier a mention. Oh, that close still to putting him up. I did notice when I was cashing out a few bumper bets, the cash out had gone for him, which can sometimes be a bad sign. Sometimes it's nothing. I'll just hang on until that cash out comes back. I want to hear something positive about him. Very exciting horse, I think. I don't think I'm looking forward to seeing a horse more than him. He's really exciting, but yeah, I'll just hang fire first for now. But yeah, that's where we are there. Yeah, Romeo Coolio, he's thrown his hat in the ring, and he did it nicely. Couldn't have done it any better, really. Maybe jumped a shade big, but maybe that'll come with practice. Like I say, ultimately, I think he's one that might hit the bar, but which will depend on what Willie and Nicky have. Champion Hurdle, we've got 3 points on Lossiemouth at 14s, now 7-2. 3 points Ballyburn at 10s, now 12s. As you were with this, I'm expecting Ballyburn to get thrown in the bin shortly, and that was a mistake on my part. Apologies. Mares Hurdle, 2 points Jay Dragugi, 20s, now 6s. Yeah. Willie sounded like he would, leaning towards Mares Hurdle for this horse, and if she goes there, I wouldn't really expect her to beat Brighter Days Ahead, but I wouldn't mind a 20-1 ticket, I love Brighter Days Ahead, you do. I do. The only little tiny niggle I have in my head about Brighter Days Ahead is she's Marty Potter's little sis, isn't she? He didn't like Cheltenham, and that's the only thing I could think, But saying that, she still finished in front of Jay Dragugi last year, didn't she? So that could be straw clutching a little bit. It's the only little niggle I'd have about her regards to Cheltenham. But yeah, look, if she stays over hurdles, 20-1 ticket for Jay Dragugi, that's fine. She should improve plenty herself. She's only 5 rising 6. We'll see. The Browns, yeah, we've got Reading Tommy the Wrong. He's gone in the bin. In the recycle bin. He's had a setback, not expected to be out till the new year. As such, I'd imagine they'll just keep him over hurdles and keep him for a full novice season next year. So he's in the recycle bin. It's alright, we've got another 4. Yeah, we got 2 points Shannon Bob at 50s. He's been nibbled a bit now, 33s. 2 points Better Days Ahead, 25, still there. A point K de Bob in 33s. A point at 25s, now 20s. And a point each way Croke Park at 66s, still there. The Browns, yeah, I mean, so we talked about these a lot recently. I do think Brighter Days Ahead looks overpriced at 25s. I love K de Bob, and I do. We're backing the improvement with that horse. Only 5 rising 6, but Better Days Ahead. Finished in. Beat him, didn't he, in the Martin Pipe? He too looks like. He should make a cracking 3-mile chase. I'd have thought more 16s, So he does look overpriced at 25s. But yeah, you can argue a case for plenty in there, I always kind of like the Browns. I think you get, there's some nice, pretty looking prices in that race. There is for horses, Champion Chase, we got 5 points. Gaelic Warrior at fives. His best 9-2 now. He wins. I just think he wins this. He does. He's got to go there, hasn't he? That's the gamble we in. We talked about that, but yeah. And we've now got a point each way. Found a 50 at 50s. And the only other race we've got left now is the Gold Cup. We got 3 points on Factor File at 12s, now 4s. A point Corbett's Cross at 20s, now 25s. And a point Spillane's Toe at 40s, now 20s. We lost the Brighter Days ahead at 8s for the Mayor's Chase, which is a damn shame. Yeah, so that's in a recycle bin, not to be recycled. And the only other thing we got there, we got this damn 2 point double on Ballyburn for the Champion Hurdle 8s and Lossiemouth Mares Hurdle 5-2. We talked about all this. So we've got 33 points on and we've now got 14 in the bin. Yeah, as I mentioned last year, we're probably throwing Ballyburn in the bin soon, so that's going to go up. The amount on will go down. Proportionally, that's more than I'd like this time of season, but it is what it is, isn't it? We'll do our best. If there's a winner on there, we're fine. If there's not, it'd be alright. The next 3 could all be winners, couldn't they? As a gambler, you don't know where those winners come. Dear, that's a different conversation for another day. Maybe one day I'll do more video just of just tell you everything I know about the game, about the gambling side of it. And maybe I did that Cheltenham one last year, didn't I? The hints and strategies or something. But personally, I think that's the best one I've ever done. But no need to watch that right now, I suppose. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Do my best. Like I say, there's no guarantees we'll make a profit again, but we'll do our best and see where we end up. If we get most of our money back, I would be happy enough with that, but we'll try for a bit better. The other bets there, yeah, we lost Iroko in the Hennessy, as I suggested we might. They won't be doing anything with that horse to nudge his handicap mark £1 higher before the weights come out for the National. They've been given a project there by JP. They're young, up and coming stable, talented stable. They'll be doing their damnedest to, fulfill that mission. So yeah, he skipped the Hennessy. King George, we've got Fast and Slow at 10s, he's top price 4s. Grand National, I know the way you're thinking, at 33s. I just noticed last night, because I checked all these prices last night, he's been well supported for the Gold Cup. That was always the gamble in backing him for the National. I'm just of the view his jumping will hold him back against those big boys over 3 miles. But we'll see, say his jumping will be fine for a National. They just run through the bloody things, don't they, So that's all that. Next up, we'll just have a brief chat about Willie's trainer file. Actually doing alright for time here. Yeah, they were just wanting the Sporting Life last night. Made some very rough notes here. El Fabiolo, apparently he's had a setback. He's going to be out around Christmas time, I think. Willie mentions Ryanair quite a lot for him. You know, you know, I suggested I wonder if he could end up in the Ryanair. Maybe worth a small, you know, throw a bit of change at that double Gaelic Warrior champion chase and him for the Ryanair. I guess the negative from that, you'd be saying, well, if he ends up in the Ryanair, something's maybe gone a little wrong with him. Yeah, you know, Shishkin went Ryanair, barely jumped a fence, but he still nearly won it. You know, you know, you get a horse of that class. That's a classy horse to have in a Ryanair. If he jumps 3/4 of the fence, he'd have a cracking chance of winning it. You know, but you know, no surprise. You know, he, like I said, that you know, if he throws some weird shapes over fences when he gets in close, runs through a few, he could be maybe not the best Ante-post proposition either, but maybe a bit of change anyway. He's like 10s, 12s for the Ryanair. I guess if you know, you could do it the other way around as well if you liked, but you know, yeah, you know, I wouldn't trust El Fabiolo personally after last year, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. And just generally with these comments, bear in mind this is Willie, and you know, he tends to speak what's on his mind, and he can wake up the day after and totally flip round on that, you know. So you have to bear that in mind with what he says. Gaelic Warrior, all options are open to him, but you know, he sounds quite sweet on the champion chase, I'd suggest. Galloping apparently missed a couple of weeks, which I didn't know. He had a small issue, says that's resolved now. Just talking about his sort of plan for the season, he talks about the John Durkin, and even in like a couple of paragraphs does like 4 180s on this, you know. Yeah. I think the other races probably kind of set in stone, but if he starts off in the John Durkin or not, I'm not sure. And I'm pretty sure Willie's not sure reading that. The way I see Willie with a minute at the John Durkin, I think Elite Thompson will go there. That's Danny Mullins' ride. I can see Factor File going there because that's Mark Walsh's ride. And then I think he's got a bit of a quandary. I don't know if he knows if to send Galloping there or Gaelic Warrior. And I think that's where he's not sure. So if Willie's not sure, we've got no clue, have we, really? Because Paul would, you know, they won't be running them both in the race. I'd suggest Paul will just be riding the one, obviously. So yeah, we'll see with all that. Yeah, I just noted down things that I found interesting. You know, someone else might write down totally different things. It's just my interpretation of Willie speak, you know. Grange Clare West, he mentions Thyestes for him off a marker 159. I mean, you look at his form from last season, I wouldn't mind him off top weight in a Thyestes, but he's an hard horse to keep right, isn't he? But that's something to bear in mind, I'd suggest. Elite Tomps could go King George. Yeah, that's a possibility. And Pass seems to be going chasing. Arkle, yeah. Jade Deguzi and Cargese, like I say, seems to have flipped round him at the moment with these. He's more leaning towards Jade Deguzi for the mares and Cargese for the mares chase. But like I say, we will eat, you know, he could wake up tomorrow and totally change his mind again. But that's the way he was talking anyway last week. Caroline Bamboo, one of our ramblers, Borat, yeah, he messaged me about this horse as well this morning. He gives a nice mention there for the mare's novice hurdle. You may want to look into that horse a little. Kelly Stoyer, that horse we was talking about, he gives him a nice mention. Kopek de Boards, I think Willie loves this horse. He does. He's, he talked plenty about that horse, and plenty about him being a staying chase of the future. I'm starting to think Willie might see this as a Gold Cup horse down the line. I don't know, but he does mention Supreme, Ballymore, Ballybingham, Gallagher's, whatever it's called now. They've actually called it the Turners now. No, we can't scrap the Turners of this handicap chase. I don't know what that's called. I thought it may be the Turners handicap chase, but I guess not. And no, yeah, whatever. But yeah, he likes Kopek de Boards anyway. Lossiemouth, Hans Grace would seem her starting point and should be on a collision course there with Teapot, wouldn't she? That's some race to look forward to. Really does look like that could be a cracking meeting, this Fairy House one this year. I mean, Teapot, he downed Honeysuckle, then he downed Impera Pass, will he down Lossiemouth too? I mean, Gordon will have Teapot bang on, won't he? Lossiemouth will be just ready to start off like, that'd be some race, I'd favour me personally, probably Lossiemouth, but looking at the race cold, Teapot maybe. I suspect when we see the betting, it'll be a no bet race for me, but one to enjoy anyway. A horse called Machia, he gives a nice mention for the Triumph. Don't know I haven't looked what price that is yet, but yeah, that might be worth looking into. Mystical Power, he was notably cold on the Champion Hurdle for that horse. He's talking chasing or even stayers hurdle. Yeah, very cold on Champion Hurdle for him. Kay de Bourbon gives that a nice mention. Reading Tommy wrong, yeah, as mentioned, he's had a setback, missed the early season. Salvatore Monday, probably Supreme, maybe Gallagher's, possibly Royal Bond, probably Supreme, that kind of thing, I do think it's probably Supreme, but we'll see. And just Spindlebury's going chasing. I liked her last year. I think there might be more to come from her. Should be interesting in that division. We quite a few others haven't really looked into that. And that's all that. Just to finish off then, Fairy House Tuesday, 12 o'clock, there's a 3-mile beginners Croke Park centred up there. We like Croke Park. Yeah, he's going to be something, I think, over the fences. This is what he's bred for, this is what he's born to do. Good ground though, seasonal reappearance. I'd be surprised, to be honest, if the ground's good. I wouldn't have thought Gordon would risk him on good ground first time up in a beginners, but we'll see. In the 2:15 race, he's entered a horse called What's Up Darling for the 2.5 mile rated hurdle, which if you look is basically just a handicap. He's top weight. If you've been watching a while, I kind of like this horse. He's impressive on decent ground in a bumper, and since then just been running on like heavy. I like What's Up Darling. That's possible. That's the selection for Tuesday, a possible bet, but price depending. It doesn't look a strong race. be no surprise to seeing Price to put odds on, and I'd leave it alone at that. But I'd say if you could get like odds against for What's Up Darling on Tuesday, that'd be a bet. And that's that. There you go. Bang on an hour. Not bad. So yeah. Like I say, I'm not going to be able to preview the weekend this week, so it'll be Monday again next week when I next see you. So if you got through all that, well done. I do appreciate it. All the best, good luck, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.